Good morning, students. Now, in this chapter, Water Resources of India, first part we have already discussed about the different methods of irrigation like tank, tube well, canal irrigation, and the new methods sprinkle and drip irrigation. In this part, second part, we are going to study about the conservation of water, why to conserve, and what are the different methods followed in different states of India and by the government of India. Water on the earth. Earth is known as blue planet or watery planet. Why? Because 71% of earth is covered by water. Now the distribution of that 71% is in ocean, sea and bay 96.54%, ice caps, glaciers and permanent snow 1.74%, groundwater 1.69%, fresh water 0.76%. So it shows that high percentage of water is either saline or is in a ice cap. What is left? 1.69 groundwater and fresh water 0.76. So we have approximately 2% of fresh water, and this 2% of fresh water is used in different ways, so we have to save this fresh water. Now, uses of water. Water is used in different ways by different people, like for irrigation, domestic purposes, industry, hydro energy, recreational activities, fishing, and some other activities also. Now, why to conserve water? First, scarcity of water. Scarcity of water means we have only 0.76% of fresh water, and this fresh water we have to save, otherwise it will finish up and we are not able to get fresh water to drink. Fresh water getting polluted. Now different industries and from the urban areas, dirty water is released into the rivers. So the water is getting polluted. Next, to fulfill the increasing demand of rising population. As the population is rising, so the amount of water is same, but demand is more. So just to save this water, to fulfill the demand and also for the coming generation, that is for the future generation also, we have to conserve water. For irrigation, we have 71% of water on the earth, but we have 2% only which can be used for irrigation. Other 98% can't be used because either they are in a solid form or they are saline. Saline means salty nature, which cannot be given to the crop. Because it harms the crop, it destroys the crop. So for that purpose also we have to save 2% of water. For industrialization. Now industries also use fresh water for the different purpose, like for the processing of or dyeing or cleaning up of the things, they require fresh water. So we have to conserve water. Now methods to conserve water. Now this conservation of water is not done from the recent time but from the past. There were different methods have been adopted by the different time period in the past, like there's a Zohad. Zohad is constructed in Karnataka just to conserve water during the rainy season. So Zohad is like a pond. One side is open and the three side is constructed by the brick and cement. So the water get stored in this and slowly it percolates also, and people of this area can use this water for other purposes. Second picture is from Bhuj, Gujarat. This is known as step well or Bavli, and here the water increases, then they use the pulley to take out the water, but as the water decreases they just use the stairs or the steps to move down to collect the water. Now, the traditional water conservation and management practice based on the ecological region of India. So this is practiced in different parts of India which receive little less rainfall, so that the water can be used in the dry season. Like Trans-Himalayan region, it is known as Zing. In the Western Himalaya, it is known as Kul. In Brahmaputra Valley, it is known as Dongs. And the picture which is shown here, it is from the Rajasthan, Jaipur. It is known as Bawri. Bawri means well. So here, during the rainy season, as the Rajasthan receives less rainfall, so during the rainy season, the water is collected in these Bawris or wells, and then it can be utilized in the dry season. So there are a number of other places also where it has been used. Now the picture showing here is from New Delhi. It is a Bawri well, or in Hindi it's called Kuan. And in this, during the rainy season, water get collected and used in the dry period, that is after the summer season when the water decreases. Now that was the old method. Now new methods of water harvesting. New method of water harvesting is known as rainwater harvesting. Rainwater harvesting is a technique of collection and store of rainwater into natural reservoirs or tanks. Now, how to do this? This is done on the area which receives the rainfall or which receives less rainfall. So they collect the water in the tanks or sometimes in the drums also with a filter so that they can use that water for the drinking purpose or for the domestic purpose. Now there are two ways in which harvesting of rainwater can be done. First one is surface runoff harvesting and second is rooftop rainwater harvesting. Surface runoff harvesting. It is mostly in the urban areas. In urban areas, rainwater flows away as surface runoff. This runoff could be caught and used for recharging aquifers by adopting appropriate methods. Aquifer means percolating deep inside the earth where the water table is there or where the parent rock is there, where the water can stay. Rooftop rainwater harvesting. It is a system of catching rainwater where it falls. Means the area which receives the rainfall, in that area only it has been done. How it can be done? Like the roofs of the buildings or the houses connected with the pipes, and these pipes are connected to the underground tanks or the abandoned wells so that the water will directly go inside the earth or into the tanks. Now you can see this picture here which is showing the rainwater harvesting, and here there is a drainage cell house. The pipes are here and this pipe is fitted with a filtration unit. Filtration unit have a charcoal, sand, pebbles and gravels and the very fine net which filters the water, and then the water get collected into this tank, and from this it is used through the help of pump for the different purpose. One of the purpose shown here is like a fountain. So this is the way the rainwater harvesting can be done or used. Recharging groundwater aquifers. Now how the underground water can be recharged? Now this can be recharged with the help of bore wells, dug wells, pits, trenches, soakaways or percolation tanks. Now this is a picture which is showing a method of rainwater harvesting. First one is recharge pit. Now the pit is connected with the PVC pipes so that the water will directly come inside these pits and slowly percolates inside the earth and increasing the underground water. Second one is dug wells. Now these wells were earlier used, now they are abandoned wells because the water table has decreased in this. So this can also be connected with the pipes and then the water can be recharged or increased inside the earth. Importance of rainwater harvesting. Now why we have to do rainwater harvesting? First, to meet the increasing demand of water. Now water is used in the different ways and different areas, so just to fulfill that. To supplement domestic water needs. Now we are using this fresh water for different purpose where it get wasted, like cleaning up houses, giving that water to the garden, cleaning cars and all that. Even in the washroom also, when we flush the water, we are wasting the fresh water. So instead of using this water, fresh water, we can use the stored water which has been stored during the rainy season. We can save water. To raise underground water table, so constructing or making the recharge pits or using the dug wells, we can recharge the underground water. It can increase the water table. To reduce groundwater pollution. Now, rainwater is considered as the pure form of a water. So, during the rain season, what happens? This water goes into the drains and get polluted. So, if we collect this water from the roofs to the tanks or to the aquifers, then we can save the water from getting polluted. To overcome the condition of a drought. Now, there are areas which receives very less amount of rainfall. Recently, last year, there's a problem in Tamil Nadu, Chennai. There's a shortage of water. So, government asked that every person or every household should have the water harvesting system so that they can save the water and they can use during the dry season. To control flood, and in this way, control flood or the runoff on the roads can be controlled. And this, if the flood will be controlled, then the control of the soil erosion can be done with the help of rainwater harvesting system. I think chapter is clear to you. Now I'm attaching one video which is showing the rainwater harvesting and its importance. Just watch it. Thank you.
Sometimes the percolated water may not reflect in the water sources of the same farm, or it may take a long time to show the clear results. Hence, the systematic structures are developed for the direct recharge of open wells and bore wells. Apart from the runoff water, the roof water can also be collected for storage or recharge purposes. Let us study such structures now. Now we are in Chitradurga, which has the average rainfall of hardly 500 millimeters. Let us see the roof water harvesting system of this big house. A big sump of 53,000 litre capacity is built underground with the building foundation itself. They collect rainwater from the surrounding houses also. The sump overflows 2 to 3 times even in the average rainfall year. They use rainwater for all purposes throughout the year. Rainwater is their preference for drinking. 30 into 40 feet roof yields 50,000 litres of rainwater with 500 millimeter of rainfall. On an average, 100 litres of water is required per day per person. Hence, their storage is sufficient for 3 to 4 people for at least 6 months. Rainwater calculation is like this. 1 square meter surface will receive 1 litre of water with 1 millimeter of rainfall. Hence, 1 acre area will get 4,000 litres. So, 1,000 millimeters of rainfall will yield 40 lakh litres of water in 1 acre of land. Rainwater harvesting structure is very simple. Keep the roof clean. Provide whitewash for RCC roofs once in a year. Avoid pet animals walking on the roof. Clean the roof once before the first rain. Tile roofs get cleaned themselves with the first shower. See that the first flush is drained out through this separate valve provided for the purpose. The drain hole of the roof is fitted with a pipe and brought down along the wall. Use half-circle drains of this type for tile and sheet roofs. Even though the rainwater is pure, it may get polluted with the dust on the roof. Hence, filtering is essential. Divert the filtered water to the sump or directly to the well. This is the rainwater filtering system. There are many types of filters in use. Some of them are costly as well. But here, the cheapest and most efficient sand filter is in use. 2.5 into 2.5 into 2.5 feet size filter is sufficient for 30 into 40 feet roof. At the bottom of this filter, granite jelly of big size is put to a height of 3 inches. Then a layer of HDPE net. Above that is a small jelly layer of 3 inches height. One more layer of HDPE net. Put wood charcoal layer of 3 inches on it. Again, a layer of HDPE net. Put a layer of clean, thick sand at 3 inches height. One more layer of HDPE net at the top. This is sufficient for effective filtering of roof water. Let there be 2 separate storage tanks for rainwater and municipal supply. Let the light not enter the sump to avoid the growth of algae. Use a small motor or hand pump to lift the stored water. Dipping pots every day will pollute the sump water. This stored rainwater keeps good for years together. A major portion of 80% of the total cost of construction is for the sump. The remaining 20% is for pipes, fittings, filters, etc. 25,000 rupees is sufficient for the sump of 50,000 litres capacity if built along with the construction of the house itself.